You know, if you had asked me last year if I was ever going to come back to the iPad Pro or the iPad Air, I probably would have said no. At that point in time, I actually had just bought a road bike, so I was out cycling instead of going on the treadmill, which was the main use case for my iPad. But now, again, it's summer here in Arizona. Well, it's almost fall, but it's still 110 degrees out there. So instead, I'm back on the treadmill. I'm back to using an iPad Air now to watch content while on the treadmill. And unfortunately, I'm back to experiencing all those same issues that I had last year with my iPad Pro. When it comes to my use case, the main reason I am back on the iPad is due to the Apple Pencil Pro. And before everyone gets upset with me, I do still enjoy using the old pen and paper, but being able to have your notes with you on any device at any given point is such a relief. In fact, to read off all of this script, I'm actually using the Pixel 9 Pro XL. To read all the notes that I use through Notion, I have the script on here and I can read it as I go along. I do have a review coming for the Pixel 9 Pro XL, so make sure you guys get subscribed and hit the bell notification so you guys don't miss out on that video. And to add to my iPad Air, my main workhorse computer is actually a MacBook Pro, so I still get all the benefits of being within the same Apple ecosystem for my creative work. To me, this is where the iPad really excels. You can have a Mac that takes care of all the heavy tasks, and then you have an iPad as a companion that is more lightweight, it's easier to carry, and has the versatility of being a tablet and a laptop-like machine. Most days the iPad comes off the keyboard to go on the treadmill so that I can continue to watch content while my Mac stays docked and out of the way on my desk. But in reality, that is just the bare minimum that the iPad can do when it is in tablet mode. Where I think that the iPad really excels in tablet mode is when you pair it with something like this. This is the Apple Pencil Pro. You can go with the Apple Pencil USB-C or the regular Apple Pencil or the Apple Pencil Lightning. It's a very confusing lineup, but all you have to know is that using an Apple Pencil with the tablet, you can actually get a lot more useful features, especially if you like taking handwritten notes or you're even a small amount of creativity through drawing or through photo editing. Now, I personally like writing all my handwritten notes on here through Freeform. I use it to mind map. I use it to write down all the notes for things like this and all of my scripts. And then I also use the Apple Pencil to edit all of the photos that I use for my thumbnails for YouTube or any photo that I post over on Instagram or any personal photo as well. There are many other use cases for the Apple Pencil as well, but I really enjoyed writing down all my notes and scripts for YouTube through the Freeform app. Now, I did enjoy going back to using the pen and paper a while back, but honestly, having a digital notebook that you can open up on your Mac or phone, like I said, is just really great at this point in my life. And I am honestly not a super user of note-taking apps. I just use a stock and pre-installed Freeform app from Apple. Being that the Freeform app is also made by Apple, I can fully take advantage of all the new features that came with the Apple Pencil Pro. I can squeeze the pencil to bring up a palette of tools for me to choose from. I can double tap to change between erasers and pen tools. There's also now a new hover feature so I can see exactly where the pencil will start writing as soon as I touch the screen. And then the last one is definitely more of a gimmick than anything, but you can now even see the shadow of the Apple Pencil as you hover close to the screen. Like I mentioned before, once I'm done taking all of my notes and I've read all my scripts and I've done all my YouTube videos, I move the Apple Pencil over to the creative side of the photo editing and the thumbnail creation. Now here you guys can choose any app that you guys like, but to me, I've really been enjoying using the Affinity Suite for photo editing and any other sort of design work that I do. It's a simple one-time fee compared to the other big name brand out there, and similar to note-taking apps, if you edit in full brightness for a while, the iPad will actually start to dim after a while, but I found that for my workflow, editing a photo usually takes less time than it actually takes for it to start dimming down. I feel like this is the one thing that people will fight me on the most, but I feel like once you have an iPad and you throw it onto the Magic Keyboard, that's where really you start to see all of the limitations of iPadOS. This is where it really starts to break all of the limitations of iPadOS, and having a tablet trying to be a laptop really starts to show up, especially if you're coming from a macOS system. That's where you're gonna start to notice all of the drawbacks. Maybe if you're a creative person or a student that just has a lot of cloud-based systems, maybe you just submit documents, you use Google Docs and Google Drive for all of that, or you just use Lightroom to edit all of your photos, and then you go through YouTube Studio or Instagram to answer DMs and comments and upload. Everything that you can do from a phone, the tablet will be able to do as well. Unfortunately, anything outside of cloud-based systems, that's where iPadOS truly starts to show its limitations. It rarely has support for full-blown apps, and if you are a student that is in the STEM field, you likely will need to download specific software to your field that you are studying in. I remember in my undergrad course and graduate courses, I actually used to use a lot of MATLAB and Simulink, which unfortunately is not supported by iPadOS. Even something as simple as Microsoft Suite, you still can't get the full apps to do all sorts of editing and manipulation. In my current day job, I actually work with data, and not being able to create a pivot table would just kill me. On the opposite end of things, some social media apps actually don't have a great tablet counterpart. Instagram is one of the ones that is well known to just be a blown up version of the iPhone counterpart. And now that I am Team Garmin, I have also noticed that the Garmin Connect app is just a blown up version of the iPhone counterpart. I know that tablet options exist, as we can see with the Samsung Fold 5, but for some reason they don't exist on iPadOS. And while Apple tried to give us a Mac-like experience with the Files folder and Stage Manager, it just doesn't do as much as a docked Mac can do. Any external keyboard or mouse are either hit or miss. The clicking of the mouse and the scroll speed just can be a little bit buggy whenever you're working through the apps. And if you did buy a mouse or keyboard due to its macro capabilities, you can forget about using the macro keys on the keyboard, because setting them up on the iPad is just impossible. Apps like YouTube also start to have trouble with resizing on the external display. Mouse clicks don't register, Spotify won't register. It just leaves you with a bad experience. So in the end, you might be asking yourself, then what is the iPad actually good for? Well, to me, I think that the iPad is actually a great MacBook companion. Using Stage Manager here as a second screen, I can use full-blown macOS apps on the iPad. I can have actual work being done on the top display while playing YouTube videos on my iPad Air here, and using that as a secondary screen is just one of the best options out there. I can have my Mac docked and not having to take it out if I need a second screen. I can still have all of the macros for my peripherals, my keyboard here that I have, my Logitech mouse as well through the Logi Options app. I have the best of everything while docking it. This makes the iPad kind of macOS-like experience while using Stage Manager. And if I ever do want to work out and I want to use the tablet iPad, I can just take it off the Magic Keyboard, take it over to the treadmill, do my workout, and then bring it back here whenever I want to actually get some work done. Similar thing with getting all that creative side, all of my note taking. I can just take it off the Magic Keyboard, set it down, write my notes, and then set it back up whenever I need that second screen. You still get the best of both worlds. You get the tablet, you get the macOS-like experience, you get all the notifications up at the top. To me, that makes the iPad Air or the iPad Pro the best companion and the best accessory for a MacBook Pro. What are your guys' thoughts? Are you guys using the iPad as a Mac companion, or are you trying to use it as a laptop replacement? Let me know down in the comments. As always, thank you guys for watching. Click here to watch another one of my videos, and I will catch you guys in the next one.